I have a bone to pick with Cold War zombies. As you know, I am a huge defender of Black Ops 4, and one of the most nitpicky things that people absolutely flamed it for was the admittedly ugly HUD. Now yes, the HUD was very cluttered and could have been much cleaner, but let's be fair here. If Black Ops 4's HUD was ugly, then Cold War's HUD is unquestionably atrocious. Heads-up displays play a key role in communicating important information to the player quickly and immersing the player within the game world. I've been addicted to the new Dead Space remake, and something that always stands out to me is the clean heads-up display. Every piece of information the player needs to know is a justified in-universe piece of technology. Everything from the player health being identified by the rig on the player's back, the stasis, ammo, kinesis, all of that stuff, all of those holograms within the game, it is absolutely clean. Now, Call of Duty Zombies, and especially Black Ops 4 and Cold War, have significantly more information to communicate to the player than Dead Space does. This means that designing an efficient and aesthetic HUD has been one of the more challenging aspects of modern zombies. Now, I don't think Cold War's HUD is all bad. In fact, I think it fixes a lot of things wrong with Black Ops 4's HUD. Just take a look at this entire bottom section. It's stunning, it's beautiful, it's nearly perfect. I love it. The point counter, the health bar, the ammo bar, the self-revive symbol, and the player color indicator are so clean and incredibly well designed. The perks are, again, floating in the center screen. They do look cleaner without that little asset Black Ops 4 had, and I'm sure some people would prefer them in their original position from classic zombies, but either way, they're much cleaner. And goodness, look at how efficient the ammo, weapon, equipment, and field upgrades are here. It's truly a thing of beauty. You can see what rank your weapon is, the name of the weapon, and the tier of Pack-a-Punch and ammo mod. This bottom half of the HUD is so well done. I often joke that the Black Ops 4 HUD was designed by an artist, but Cold War's HUD was designed by an engineer. It's incredibly efficient. Unfortunately, that's where my praise for Cold War's HUD ends, because taking a look at everything else, it needs some work. I guess the round counter is inoffensive, but then you see the minimap, the compass, the location indicator, and the objective indicator. In my opinion, each of these elements could be better organized. The objective indicator, as well as the location of the room you're in, could easily be moved to the select screen. Neither of these elements is so necessary that the players need to see them at a quick glance. Therefore, placing them on a secondary screen would clean up the presentation of the main HUD. Now, we have to talk about the minimap. For a while there, I did appreciate it as it helped me find the last zombie, and it was helpful in Outbreak to find various key items. But after going back and playing Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, I would much rather have a more immersive and visceral experience than know where the last zombie is. That being said, I think a simple option to toggle the minimap on or off would be good enough. I say that because that's exactly how the compass works, and that's just fine. If you like the compass, it's there. If you don't, you can take it off. What you cannot take off is the point counter, XP counter. What do we call this thing? The thing that pops up with the number of points you earned and it displays why you earned them, almost like a kill feed with the whole enemy eliminated thing, but it's not really a kill feed. I'm gonna call it a kill feed for this video. Whatever it is, I'm not the biggest fan. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly satisfying to mow into a horde of zombies and watch that kill feed rack up kills. I love throwing a Molotov and watching that thing go crazy. It's incredibly fun to hop into a chopper gunner and just decimate enemies with that feedback. But I think we could do better. I think we've had better. I think simply having the point counter have those points fly out of it was more immersive. Not only that, but I think not having it physically close to the points caused a small bit of confusion about what those numbers meant. Is it points, XP, or something else? Now, in fairness, this kill feed is right next to the center of your screen, right where you're looking, whereas the point counter is at the bottom corner of the screen. This means that if you're not paying attention to the point counter, you don't get that satisfying feedback that you do with the kill feed. It's a tough decision, but I think the kill feed is more clutter than it's worth, especially because I have a better solution that we'll get to shortly. While I'm not a fan of the compass and the minimap, there is something that I believe to be the worst aspect of Cold War's HUD and serves to be the most disruptive to my immersion. These ridiculous medals. I understand why they're present. They give satisfying feedback when players do something really cool. It's just another dopamine hit. That being said, I find them incredibly immersion breaking. Speaking of immersion breaking, we are gonna need to talk about the zombie health bars and damage numbers. Once again, these are immensely satisfying to see. Watching the health bars go down and seeing how high the damage numbers can go is, in part, what makes Cold War Zombies so satisfying to play.
But donuts,
I hear you say.
you can turn those off in the menu too.
And you're right. Well, sort of. You can't turn off the health bars entirely with every enemy. You can choose between not having them on zombies, but having them on boss zombies, or having an icon on every enemy. Either way, there's another solution I just have to mention. The purpose of health bars and damage indicators is to communicate to the player how much health the enemy has and how much damage players are outputting. However, another way of accomplishing that same purpose is through the enemy model itself. Doom Eternal coined the term destructible demons because as you do more and more damage to their demons, the more ripped, torn, and bloody they look. Coincidentally, the brand new Dead Space remake does something similar. As you're shooting at the limbs, which is the weak spot of these enemies, the limbs themselves will peel off the skin, rip off the flesh, and visually look weaker. Both of these serve the same purpose as health bars and damage numbers, except they're a lot more art-driven rather than numbers-driven. Again, having the option to turn these off is perfect, but adding more grotesque and perhaps over-the-top animations could also serve a similar purpose. This could not only help alleviate the need for health bars and damage indicators, but also be as satisfying as the kill feed too. Two birds with one stone. But no matter what you've thought about my opinions of the Cold War HUD so far, I think we can all agree that the best way to design a HUD is to provide players with the most amount of options possible. I have to champion Doom Eternal and Star Wars Battlefront 2 in this department. The sheer amount of HUD customization is next level, and I truly believe that Treyarch should mimic this amount of personalization for players. Give players the power to move the perks to the left side of the screen. Give players the power to turn off the mini map. Give players the power to remove health bars and the kill feed. Having the option to personalize and customize will always be the right answer. For example, I didn't even mention hit markers or crosshairs in this video because they're an option you can turn off, and that's just perfect. However, no amount of customization will help solve this next problem that I have with Cold War's HUD. That problem being these downright jarring in-game menu interfaces. They're ugly, immersion-breaking, and just don't fit. Luckily, I have a genius solution to this problem that can easily be implemented and maintain player immersion. And it's incredibly simple. So be sure to check out my solution here and stay beautiful.